my name's Nick Turner. I work for Audio Technica, looking after Allen and Heath Digital Consoles in the UK. This show is a show about nothing in particular. It includes chats about DLive, some techie stuff, how to do stuff, and a chance to find about people in the industry. And today we have John King. And John is a sound engineer who's worked in several venues in Liverpool, engineered with several legendary Scouse bands. He's outspoken, has lived a little, has 2 kids, and is currently taking time off for obvious reasons. And as currently working with an iconic band from the 90s. I think, does that sum you up, John?
That's put that on the tombstone, mate. Yeah, that's great.
On your tombstone. I don't do funerals, but okay. And the last thing I had on there was he also mixes very loud. Now you seem to.
This is a thing that's like, I don't know how this has come about. Like, everyone who speaks about me says this. I don't know where that's come from. I think there was a few early incidents with like broken bottles during sound checks and stuff like that.
Sorry, broken bottles.
Like the sound check being loud, and it's like smashed the bottle on a table and stuff. So I think I got a reputation for mixing loud. I don't think I mix ridiculously loud. By the way, I think it's clean and loud, but whatever.
Well, I think we have to say to all the kids out there, you know, obviously ear protection's really important. So mix safe kids.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's the thing with regulation. Do you want me to get started on this? With regulation, the way it is with, and like, with noise regs and stuff. As soon as you go into a venue, most venues have got dB meters and stuff, and you need to keep. Obviously, it's for the protection of the public's ears, but also, like, we had a gig. People want to be at a gig and want to hear it and feel it. And like, sometimes you go to a gig and you're like, this would be a great gig if it was just a little bit louder. I get that quite a bit, but anyway, that's my thing, you know what I mean?
Well, no, and I think the more gigs I go to where it's like, just a little bit,
I'm trying to have a chat here.
Yeah. Or I do get a little bit ringing in the ears when I'm trying to get to bed these days. But I think that's more to do with playing in bands than actually loud gigs here. Right, so we should tell everyone who you're mixing for at the minute and what you're doing.
Okay, well, if we weren't all locked down, then the current tour I'd be on is with the Lightning Seeds, which is just the UK and Ireland tour. But we were 2 dates into that when the lockdown started. We were due to go to Ireland and that got cancelled. So yeah, legends. But really, I know. I've pretty much mixed almost any Liverpool bands you can talk about over the years, and I've listened to all of them. I'm like a fan of all of them, but none more so than the Lightning Seeds. Like, even from before Free Lions, just great song. God, I don't know if you'll see this, but I think Ian Brody's one of the most appreciated British songwriters that we've got. I think he's just amazing songwriter. So when I got the opportunity to work with them, I was like, oh yeah, okay. I mixed monitors for them, and when I got the call to say, it was Riley, Ian's son, who plays in the band. We'd been following around he's followed us on the farm around festivals and heard us mixing, and so they needed a monitor tech. And Riley called me and was like, listen, he said, I don't want to, like, is it a slight to ask you to come and do monitors for us? So I was like, what? Come and do monitors for the Lightning Seeds? No, sounds like amazing, mate. So Lightning Seeds, and it's been brilliant fun. Like, I've worked a few gigs last year, and then a couple of gigs to start this tour, and then the rest of it's been rescheduled for September. But it's great fun, brilliant.
Yeah, well, I think, I don't know if I should be saying this as well. I did actually pick up one of their CDs from a charity shop for about 50p not so long ago. And it was just one of those things where you're going through and it's like, Lightning Seeds. And put it on and, instantly you're kind of like singing along in the car. It's like, it's just He is a brilliant songwriter, and obviously the football thing. I know you mentioned last time we chatted about going up to Scotland and whether you should play certain songs or not. But you did.
I don't know. We didn't play it.
No, you didn't.
But like they were asking for it. The crowd was shouting. Like, there was child were shouting for Three Lions. I think I mentioned as well. There was another band who I work with who done an England song, a well-known English song, and we've done Scotland, and we never play it, and I don't ever get it. I don't think it's going to cause a riot, and one of your most famous songs. Anyway, but it's his choice. They get to choose what they play and what they don't play. So.
Oh yeah, it's them that's going to get the bottles thrown at them. Not
yeah.
You're well hidden.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I look after Alan Heath Digital, so the reason I thought of you is because I remember coming to see you at Jacaranda.
Yeah.
And probably trying to sell you an SQ into the venue, but you've already got your console there. Yeah, the next time I saw you, though, you'd been using a D-Live.
That's right.
You've done the Shankly rooftop gigs, yeah.
So, yeah, there's the Shankly gigs. So I'll give you a bit of background on the Shankly gigs.
Yeah.
So the Shankly rooftop gigs, Shankly is a hotel in Liverpool owned by Signature Living, or was, I don't know if it still is. So we did them last year, 2019. And the idea came from Keith Mullen, who is the guitarist from The Farm. He's a good mate of mine. I do sound for them front of house for The Farm as well. That's how I'll talk about that in a bit. So yeah, Keith Mullen and Wendy Cave, they organised all them, and Keith brought me on board to be production manager. And the idea was that we do summer gigs on this massive terrace at the top. In fact, you can see it if you go to YouTube and type in Signature.
Yeah, I'll find some pictures. I'm sure there's some pictures of gigs there.
Yeah, so the idea was that in the summer, like this lovely rooftop, we throw some outdoor gigs on, and we just did one a month for just over a year. So the first thing I did was, I don't own any equipment. I used to have a company in Liverpool with a good mate of mine, but I left me health and me sanity and just thought, I'm just going to be a freelancer. So this kind of level of gig, I think I originally went to Adlib, but being Adlib, they were mad busy and just had nothing. So the next port of call was to go to John Murray, John and Ben at Total Control, who sort of this lovely D&P rig out, and they sort of as the Seed is a 3500, is it?
Yeah.
And so the only experiences I'd had with Alan and Heath with the smaller desks around, like the toilet tours, but you know what I mean, the smaller venues around. Everyone will know what I mean. Like, and I was like, I like these, but my opinion was skewed like early on at a kind of rubbish venue who had an old iLive. Is it the T112, the old one?
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing wrong with that desk at all, by the way, but it just hadn't been looked after. But then as soon as John brought the 30, it's
a D-Live 3500.
3500. It's like as soon as I started working on it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a gorgeous desk. And it was everything about it. Workflow was dead easy. The thing about the Shankly rooftop gigs is I mixed like pretty much all of them except for one. And so it was bands that I mostly hadn't worked with before. So you needed that quick set, like those quick settle times. Like we were loading in the day, as you would with any gig. But because you're on a rooftop of a hotel, you're not just like loading in off the street. It's like you're loading everything up in passenger lifts. Like you got get a whole stage, lighting rig, sound rig up in passenger lifts and get ready for sound checks like at 3:00. It was just mental. So you had to be quick.
Because it was a decent sized rig up there as well, wasn't it? A D&B rig you put up there, yeah.
Yeah. I was say go and have a look online. But yeah, it was a great gig. It was a joy to mix, especially outdoors. Sometimes we had to move indoors when it was a bit rainy, but it was joy of a gig to mix. So when I started using the 3500, it was like, okay, I came right round. And whenever I'm lucky enough to turn up at a festival, if anyone's got anything like iLive stuff, or even usually it's the smaller desk now. Most something like little gig venues have moved away from the X32, M32 stuff, and you see a lot of the Q stuff now. What is it? The Q series?
Oh, the SQ as well, yeah.
The SQ, like that kind of thing. And no desk that range is perfect, but that I'm more than happy to mix on them. I think they're great. They sound like nothing else. They sound great. So some of the usability stuff I would like, okay, I'll maybe change that, but these always sound great.
Yeah. No, I mean it's the one thing that most people sort of like to say straight off the bat is, especially when the dealer first came out, I was like, wow, that does make a difference, And I mean, we were really happy when John came on board, because he went Digico as well. At the same time, so he's well covered, and it's great to see it in gigs and little festivals that he does as well.
He takes it all over the world. He loves that desk. John's an more experienced tech than me as well. He travels around the world, and whenever he can, he takes that 3500 with him, and he pushes it. In fact, he was the one who said to me, he was convinced me to use it. So
hopefully I'll be able to grab him now that he's not travelling the world. He's probably getting a well-deserved rest, I would have thought. I can never seem to find him in this country. Right, okay, so first question. First console mixed on and or owned?
So I've never owned the console. I've never bought anything. I say we had a PA company, but that I don't class that as me owning anything. The first console I ever remember mixing on was probably early days, in little bars and around Liverpool, maybe a little notepad desk, 5-channel desk, putting some vocals through it, like a Spirit notepad or something. The first proper desk I ever used. So I blagged the job in the Philharmonic Hall. Pretty much, I blagged the interview. I had no experience, a little bit of experience, but I blagged the job. So the first proper gig I mixed on was with a GB4 or something, Soundcraft.
Do you know what's sad is I remember supplying that.
Yeah, Adlib supplied.
Yeah. Many moons ago that was.
And to me that was a behemoth. That desk. I know it's, but I remember looking at it going, I'm going to learn to use this desk. And as with anyone in our industry, you blag it, and eventually you get used to it, and then you become good at it. Well, that's subjective.
Just very loud, yeah.
That's subjective, yeah. I don't know. I heard Andy mix on that desk what was the U2 tribute band that used to have Elevation?
Elevation, yeah.
I've never heard noise levels like that in my life since. I remember being pinned back to the door. So Andy Doch, he used that desk and that old Nexo GOD in the film. So that's the first desk I remember mixing on properly, like a proper desk.
Yeah.
Is that GB4? I'm sure I've got that right, GB4.
Well, yeah, because I do remember you, because the next question is about moving from analog to digital, but I do remember they also had an LS9 there as well, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. That's well remembered, yeah. But I think that came a lot later. The LS9 came a lot later because we couldn't afford a big, large console. So at one point, Adlib had put, for a week or two, they put one of the first VI6 desks, VI6, and it was just only come out brand new, and they put one in for us to use, and I just remember falling in love with that, just because, obviously it was like a spaceship when it first came out, and so we couldn't afford that, and so the compromise was getting an LS9 or something.
Sounds just the same, yeah.
Just the same jobs. Don't worry about it.
To be fair,
the first time I really saw the power of what a digital desk could do was with that VI6. And earlier, we all know what the VIs are like when you push your button and have to wait half an hour for them to happen, and it was like that even then. But I fell in love with the VI6. I still love, even in fact, one of the last Lightning Seed shows in the film, I think they still got a VI 3000 or 4000, and it was like just coming home, sitting on that desk, where everything is. I know we shouldn't be bigging up other people's equipment and desks. And
no, that's absolutely fine. I mean, like I said, it's about nothing really.
Yeah,
nothing and everything. Well, I think one of the last posts I saw, because I think what everyone should know is that you're quite a prolific poster on YouTube. Is that right?
No, on Instagram. No, not on YouTube. I post a lot on Instagram.
Yeah. Is it just rants on YouTube?
No, it's not me. That must be someone else. Oh, Facebook rants.
I'm from a different generation here.
Do you know what the thing is, right? About I used to rant a lot on Facebook about loads of different things, and I just stopped because it takes up so much of your time. Like you type it, just like people like 3 o'clock in the morning going, and another thing. But I stopped.
5G coronavirus.
Do you know what? Don't get me started.
I'm not going to. No, we're not going to go there.
The 5G thing is just completely ironically, it's fried my brain. This whole 5G thing. Like trying to explain to people, no, this is what trying to explain about the 2010 switch over, the of Ofcom sell off of the bands, and people just like no.
Well, do you know what? I did see that because one of your last posts, you did have an SD7 somewhere.
Yeah. I think that was in Gateshead. I think that was the Sage.
Oh, really? It wasn't theirs then.
Yeah, I think it was the Sage Gates.
Really?
The Gateshead. Yeah. That's the SD7 is the big. Colourful. That was theirs. That was the in-house desk at the Sage. Yeah, that's right, the Sage. Yeah, the Sage Gateshead. Yeah, so the big room. They've got a Pro 1 in the smaller room there, but yeah. So again, another desk that I'm not overly familiar with, but really nice desk, and the house techs in there, really great as well. A lot of venues are like that now. That have got, you go in and you're really surprised by what they've got. Even little venues, like we were up in St Luke's in Glasgow, and even they've got a Pro 1 out front. Yeah. I think Adlib look after them. Maybe look after St Luke's in Glasgow.
I don't know.
Adlib North.
Have they not got a PA made by a local guy?
Yeah, and you go in and look at it. I can't remember the name of the PA, but you go in and you look at it.
We Are Sound.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it might be.
I've got to say hello to Rory if he ever sees this. So yeah.
Hi, Rory. So yeah, you go in and you look at it, and go, oh god, what's this? And you turn it on, and the first thing that hits you is this bottom end for days. Like you can just gorgeous. There's lovely bottom ends. But even places like that, great PAs, and yeah, two Pro 1s. These places are well stocked now, and it's like obviously it's slightly above a bar, but good on them for people who are actually putting their hands in their pockets now. Because 5 years ago, you'd have gone in there and it would have been an X32. Yeah, Christ knows what for the PA. You'd be lucky to get a couple of point source boxes or something.
Yeah. No, we've certainly noticed that. We've put quite a few consoles into live venues now, and they're made up having something that is really decent, because sometimes if you're struggling along with something with half the fade is sort of taped up, not working, it doesn't look right.
But then again, that's where the fun is that you haven't mixed a gig until you've had to work your way around 5 dodgy faders, skipping from pages and stuff, things appearing in the mix.
That's fair enough. So, so you're using a lot of house stuff, so you probably don't have. Do you carry a lot of show files around with you? Or?
So I didn't until I love getting to festivals, right? Just building, because I always found I tried to do show files, and there was always something that would I needed to mess around. I'd end up spending longer trying to get the show file working on that desk and in that system than just building another show file for that gig. So most festivals, if it's with kind of smaller Liverpool bands that I work with, or it's the Farm of the biggest kind of tour, biggest festival bands, I'll just build the mix there, and I'm happy with that. But it wasn't until working with the Peter Hook and the Light. So the Peter Hook and the Light. Peter Hook used to be in Joy Division and New Order, bass player, legend. They're great band.
He is a legend, yeah.
Legend. I know, one of the biggest bands, surely, New Order and Joy Division. Just anyone in music knows how big they are. So when I got the opportunity, that was great. But then I realised that because there was a few of them on in ears, and there's a few different little things going on, so it's all right, I'm going to start carrying a show file around, and that's fine. But I do like getting to festivals and just building the desk on the day. It keeps you on your toes, I think, and there's so many different desks as well now at festivals. Half the time you wouldn't have a desk file for that particular desk anyway, so I kind of like it. So yes and no. I do carry, especially for the Lightning Seeds now, I've got a desk fan for that and for Peter Hook. But for everyone else,
hang on, John.
Yes.
I just lost you for a bit there.
Yeah, I've been losing you kind of on and off again, but you're back now.
Yeah, I think. I live in Hale Village, and it's like you might as well be living on the moon when it comes to broadband. It kind of slows down when it rains, and I used to phone up BT and they go, "You're talking rubbish. It doesn't. The rain doesn't affect it." And I'm going, "No, seriously, it does." Yeah, I live in a bungalow, a road of bungalows, and so like most people are in their 80s, and they don't use broadband. It's not as if they're gaming and stuff like that. But yeah, I spoke to one of my neighbours who does use it, and he said, "No, it does happen. It rains and it slows down." And we got this BT guy out, and like under the cover, it was just submerged in water. Yeah. So it's probably about, all the connectors were a foot underwater. So they got these waterproof things that they put them in. But yeah, one of them had broken and it was affecting it, and it was just
That'll do it. It's lovely. There's a bit overcast today. I don't know. It's rained up by you.
I don't know. It's just seagulls flying over. It affects it.
Get that 5G on the go.
So yeah, Peter Hook, legend.
Yeah.
So you only work with legends. Is that how you?
I mean, they all get to work with a legend, don't they? So, sorry, the missus is laughing. Are you laughing at me saying that? I've been so lucky. With the Peter Hook and the Lights, obviously with the farm, it's the same management. Yeah. So it just so happens that they needed someone to jump on, and so obviously the manager come right to me. And like I say, with the Lightning Seeds thing, just being lucky enough to meet them around festivals, like we all do. We all see each other around festivals, like same technicians, same bands, all the summer festivals, especially with them 90s revival kind of festivals that we all do.
They're all a bit older and wiser now.
Yes.
I'm guessing you probably don't have as many festival stories as they probably had back then.
No, it's so much more professional. And do you know what, mate? I'm old as well now. Like, I don't want to be off. I haven't got time and energy for all that. I mean, there's some of the younger bands I work with, some of the kind of up-and-coming bands around Liverpool, like Red Rum Club, who, they're animals. Like, even like there's some stories that I couldn't even repeat, and like
you'd never work again.
I don't know how they get the energy for it, mate. They're mad, they're mental. I've seen parts of them boys that I haven't even seen of the missus. It's but we've all got stories. Do you know what? Because it's so much more. I think I joined the industry on the cusp of that, where it really did become professional. And like you say, if you get anyone acting like that now, a bit rock and roll too much, they get chastised. And if you got good management, that's like you're messing with people's income and you're messing with people's livelihoods. So you just don't get it much anymore for a good reason, because we've got to be professional. Like, as well, that's the highest thing we have to be. The first and foremost is we have to be professional. The show has to go on. So if you've got someone who's off their face and being popping tablets all day and they can't go on stage, they're taking my income away because the gig won't go on. So you just don't get it anymore, thank God. But it's nice to hear all the stories about it. The farm have got the best stories, I must admit. Like they were animal. Like they were independent. They didn't have a record label. They made their own record label, travelled around the world. So yeah, some of their
I think there was that period, late 80s, early 90s, when the likes of the Happy Mondays and and even to this day, I think there's probably a lot of people that are kind of a bit wary about working with them. But I think those days probably gone. Yeah, I've got a sound out engineer that helped you learning the ropes.
So there's no doubt. No, so when I first, as we all were, we were all probably frustrated musicians. So I was left school and didn't really know what to do. So I thought, I'll go and do a music course in the community college in Liverpool. So I was doing a BTEC in rock and pop. BTEC rock and pop. And it was great. And it was
Your mum
great.
and dad must have been proud, yeah.
Yeah, but my mum was like seeing me off the step every morning with packed lunch. So yeah, I was like, I love this. But as part of this BTEC in Rock and Pop, we do 2 hours of recording studio stuff on a Friday. So I remember the first time walking into this studio. It was a proper studio that they had in the community college. I was like, oh, this is great. I was sitting there waiting for the tutor. It's like 12. You know, where's this guy? And I remember this guy walking in, and he's dressed all head to toe in black, like black everything, hair's a mess. Looks like he just got out of bed. Bloodshot eye. I remember his eyes being red, bloodshot eyes, and I just remember thinking, that's the coolest motherfucker I've ever seen in my whole life. That's the coolest man I've ever seen. It's Mike Doyle, his name was.
Oh, right, okay.
So, I was addicted right away to the studio. The first lesson, I was like, this, something switched in me, and it was like, this, I'm much more interested. I mean, I was crap anyway playing guitar. I was rubbish being in the bands, like, couldn't write a good song or I couldn't play. I was good enough to make a living from it. But as soon as we started doing the studio stuff, and like I'm hooked on this. There's something about this that just kept me. So we used to stay after lessons, and Mike would chat to us about some of his stories, and we just hit it off and became good mates. And it was actually years later that we bumped into each other around Liverpool over the years, and I got a phone call from him one day, and it was that's how I got the farm job. Mike called up, said, "Listen, we need a monitor tech, the farm van." And as with all bands, we turn out to festivals. Stage sound is like a nightmare. It depends who you get. They were like, "They just had enough. Do you want to come on board?" So it was Mike that brought me on board for the farm as well. Give me and that was my break. To be honest, like I'd done loads of work and loads of bands, but it wasn't. They weren't booking me for me. That was the first gig I'd been booked for, like on the back of my own work, on the back of my own reputation. So, there's a load of other people who we all learn from each other. Even all you guys, when you were at Adlib, like you learn it from everyone. But it's always Mike who I go back to. Like that was the first person. Like he just turned me onto it. That was me moment, kind of ping. This is what I want to
do. Yeah. There's nothing else you want to do. You never fancy working for the Dole office or.
No, mate. No.
All those other glamorous jobs. Do you know what? I shouldn't be putting it down, but a steady job. Yeah, get a pension.
Stacking shelves is like, look at now. It's like all these jobs that you're like, oh, you wouldn't be doing that. Frontline jobs, stacking shelves and
exactly. Yeah. Music. What music are you into?
God, I've got a kind of an eclectic taste. I like everything. I've come to like pop music a lot. Like a lot of modern pop. A lot of modern pop, I think, is just good fun. Doesn't have to be serious. Good fun.
Is that from like mixing people like Red Rum Club and?
Before all that, I think I hated pop music growing up, or I thought it is, and it was only when I kind of lost me snobbery, the music snobbery of kind of going, that music type of music rubbish. There's no such thing as bad kind of music. Well, there is. Metal is the only kind of music that I can't get on board with. But everything else, I fucking find something in every kind of music. Obviously, the Phil helped that, working at the orchestra. But the Phil I want to turn me into, I love folk music. They used to have these little folk concerts with in this little 100-seater venue that they had upstairs.
Yeah.
They used to have folk legends coming and playing it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love folk music.
They're proper musicians, aren't they?
Most guitarists will blow any modern guitarist out the water with their finger style and stuff. Yeah, I love it. And it's the story. I love a story, and it's the storytelling is second to none. So yeah, I mean, I love all usual indie stuff. It was the first thing that made me ever pick up a guitar. Was Oasis. They were just coming up as I was in school and I was a kid. And I remember hearing Champagne Supernova on the radio, and again, another one of them moments where something clicked to me. Was like, this just done something to me inside.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do this. And not for a job in any way, but I was like, that's when I thought, I could play a bit of guitar. I'd learned guitar when I was younger, but that made me pick it back up.
They just had that swagger, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that they've got the real people in Liverpool to thank for everything.
It's funny. I used to do bits and bobs for the real people.
Oh,
and,
legends.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And like Chris and I've come to know Chris and Tony dead well.
Yeah.
They're just so down to it. You never know. You would think if that was me, I'd be like, I'm responsible for Oasis being famous. You know that I wrote loads of their stuff for them. If that was me, that's what I'd be doing. But Chris and Tony are just cool. And like, nah, you never heard anything about it. And not only that, they've got better songs as well.
Well, do you know what? I think people don't realise how good their music was, and it was a kind of precursor to it all, wasn't it? It had that sound, and they've got the swagger as well,
Yeah, of course.
They're pretty strong characters, So I think, and Liverpool's full of them in terms of like, the artists you're working with and those guys, they're really big personalities. And I think that's why, Liverpool's always done really well in the music scene, and it keeps you in a job, obviously.
Keeps us all big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People like the real people and smaller that they call the Sums. Both of them played the Shankly gigs. That was one of the first names that went into the hat.
Yeah.
That when Keith was talking to me about who should we play, and I was like, you've got to have the real people and the Sums, Digsy. And like they were, as soon as the Oasis phase finished and I picked up a guitar, we found them not long after, and we're like, oh, okay. And he lived round the back of me. I live in Bootle in Liverpool, and like we found out that Chris and Tony lived like over the bridge behind where my mum lived. So I remember knocking there one day as well. Oh, idiots! We're going around asking to be our manager when we were like 15, idiots. But
I think that was one of the most amazing things I loved about. I come from St Albans, and we don't have a massive amount of pop stars in St Albans. Hence Shikari were after my time.
They're huge.
What I loved about Liverpool was like, every other street had a pop star living on it, and everyone had some kind of relationship with them, and people I've worked with, but people that I've worked with, like yourself from the Philharmonic and stuff you've done afterwards. Everyone seems to sort of like know someone, and the fact that you'd sort of like meet guys from whatever it might be. I'm trying to remember the name of the Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah.
People like that. These guys are still around town, and and they'll chat to you, and you can have a good old laugh with them. And it's
one of them both.
But it's
Will will talk to you all day long.
And Will is it was Will I was thinking of, but they're genuine sort of like pop stars, rock stars.
You're totally right. You go in any pub, especially in Liverpool, and you'll bump into someone. There's another band I work with called Simply Dylan. A guy called John O'Connell, who was in a Liverpool band called Ground Pig back in the day, who were massive, like covers band, but they were huge. And Peter Hooton from The Farm, the singer from The Farm, is like his biggest fan. So wherever we go, I go and pop in to see John. Peter's on the front row, like dancing around, watching him in the pub, and you're like, this is mad. This is mental. And you get that all over the place. Like everyone, it's a big kind of what's the word? It's like an introverted community kind of thing. Not introverted, but it's an incestuous community in a lot of ways. Like all the bands know each other and can pick from each other, and you can go into any bar and you meet someone and they'll gladly chat away to you.
Yeah. I mean, going to see Chris at, Parr Street and some of the bands that he's been producing, She Drew the Gun and people like that go through Parr Street. Yeah. And you kind of like, wow, it's they're not messing around, and I think, it does help when that kind of filters down to all the engineers that, that's probably why Liverpool produces a stupid amount of sound engineers. There's a lot of frustrated musicians in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a cliche, because you go to there's so many karaoke bars in town, but you get some amazing singers just doing karaoke. And it's funny when you go around town and you see it, but at the same time you're just like, well, that's what breeds all this talent, it's just in the genetics or something, as much as the Manx hate to see it, I'm sure they could make the same.
Well, this is the thing though, the reason, one of the main reasons is because Liverpool is a tiny city, like with huge personality, but you can walk the length and breadth of Liverpool in 45 minutes, and it's a dead small city. Manchester's huge. it could never have that kind of community like the way we have it, just because of its size. And like, I know, listen, I'm a massive fan of a load of Manchester bands, and there's this rivalry doesn't really exist. Not really.
Just in the football.
As a laugh, like it does, but not really. But Liverpool, that's why Liverpool is better for that kind of thing, because of it's small. It's the way everyone is literally a neighbour.
Yeah. Worst venue we can do.
So.
Or can we?
I'm not going to answer that, right? Because there's a reason why, right? No venue opens up and goes, I'm going to try and make this awful. I'm going to try and make this shit. No venue does that, right? They all try the best with what they've got. All right, some of them do a better job than others, but I'm not going to like single a venue. Well, there's venues where I don't like going to, but so there's venues I'll have been to in like Newcastle. Almost like pubs, back rooms of pubs that you can fit 50 people in, and they maybe got a little notepad, literally a little notepad desk, 5 channels, and you wait with a touring band, and you're like, what am I going to do here? But that's the best that you can do in that situation. So there's no way, I can't really answer that, because there's nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't single any venue.
Okay.
I'd say
all right. Well, let's rejig it a bit. So we can do worst gig.
I probably can't remember my worst gig. Like back...
is it the same story for your best gig?
Oh no, I can definitely. I thought maybe I haven't had the best gig. I don't know. It's so hard because.
Have you had a moment where it just feels like it's nailed and the crowd are just going?
I'll tell you, right, I've had a load of moments like that, and anyone who comes to see me, right, or any of the bands that I work with, you'll know that I don't really stand still. I'm bouncing about, I'm dancing. I enjoy it. I can't believe I get paid to do this. Like I'd be in the crowds, like bouncing. Like I love music, and a lot of the artists like working with me because they say, like, I remember Peter Hook, he'd come off stage and like the first time I had to work with him, and he was like, "You love that?" And of course I love it. I'd love doing my job. He said, "No," he said, "but I was kind of flagging halfway through, thinking that the audience weren't getting it." He said, "I looked around at you and you're pogoing behind the desk, mixing." And it was like, it just filled me with this, like, energy again. So, I love, what was the question? I can't even remember what the question is. Oh, yeah, best gig. So, I love all my gigs. I love all the gigs. The worst gig, who knows? You forget about them quick. Like in the early days when, we were trying to work a million gigs in a weekend and stuff, and you end up drinking and you then don't go home for 5 days, and then, so it's probably one of them bands like where you're mixing a band and you can't even think straight. It's probably there, my worst gigs. There's never been anything that's gone horribly wrong on a big gig, on a big festival. I've always been dead lucky that all the guys that you get, like, anyone you get who's a house tech at a festival will always look after you. You're never gonna mess it up. Even in the early days, you go, listen, I'm not too sure about this on this desk, or they'll always go. I've never had someone not go, of course you are, I'll show you. Put the arm around you.
I suppose
that's why I love this scene.
There's another blessing for not having really complicated show files.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've already done it for you.
Yeah.
Best gig. So maybe not. I wouldn't say best gig, but one gig recently last year was one of the Shankly gigs. We had Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh yeah.
We had Sugar Hill Gang on the rooftop, right? Legends.
Yeah.
And I remember being stood, and there's a picture on like my Instagram and Facebook. I was stood on a chair behind the mixing desk, like with my hands in the air, just yelling, screaming along, and someone took a picture of me, and you could just see the joy in my face. And like that was a moment where I was like, I love my job.
I think any rooftop gig's good at the best of times. With Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill, I go and see Sugar Hill Gang. Like anyone watching, you won't regret it. They've still got it. Like I think there's a couple of tracks online actually of them from the Shankly gig. But do you know what makes every gig as a moment like that? Like the Lightning Seeds, because the songs just take you. Like every night I'm bouncing and I come off. So I come off hoarse. Like after the gig, I can't hardly chat to everyone because I've been yelling the words. And like, so
thankfully, no one gives you a mic though. So,
hey, I can belt me. I've got some pipes.
Yeah.
I used to.
Maybe we need to go and do some karaoke down in town.
Oh, I can't stand it. Can't stand karaoke. I think the only people who should be allowed to do karaoke are people who like have got the worst voices. Like like geese honking. Like, they're the best people for karaoke. When you get people on karaoke, you're warbling and giving it the beans, like, just destroys me. Can't stand it.
No, that's fair enough.
One of the best gigs I've ever seen, right, is Placebo in Manchester Arena. Like, I'm not a placebo fan at all. Like, that song, Pure Morning, I love that. But Mario was working on it, so we went to the gig.
Oh, yeah.
I remember sitting there, we were at the sides, me and Lint. I went with Lint, and from the first kick, me and Linton looked at each other and was like, oh, listen to that kit. And from then on, it never got tired on your ears. We played like 3 hours, never got tired on your ears. Yeah. It was just the best sounding thing I've ever heard. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, do you know what? He is he is a bit of a genius, is Arnelli, like, you know. You know, it's not often you get that where, I mean, I had British Music Embassy a couple of weeks ago, and it's a weird thing, you know, because they still wanted to do the South by Southwest thing, but they couldn't have an audience there. So it's like, you know, an empty venue. So the vibe was it must have been really difficult on stage, you know, because you just, you know, it's like shooting a pop video or something then, isn't it? So, but Gareth was mixing it. And, you know, we were there all day, and at the end of it, you're right, I just didn't feel tired, and it sounded great. It was, you know, granted there was no audience to get over, so you didn't have to do it super loud, but it just still sounded fantastic. And sometimes, you know, you get these engineers that are just like got this magic touch, you know. Yeah. Totally. But Nelly's definitely one.
I believe I was kind of looking over to see him mixing, and I don't think I saw him look up once in a while, Nelly. It was just his head. Whereas I never look at the desk. I look at the band the whole time. But he was just at the desk. Wasn't worried about them. He was just listening, and he was at the desk. Like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, obviously there's no right or wrong way of doing it, but I was like, that's kind of interesting. I very rarely look at the desk when I'm mixing. I've got my hands on it, so I'm feeling. And if I need to change stuff, I'll usually do it by feel because I know where stuff is. Yeah. But it's great seeing different people do different things and how they do it.
Yeah, well, it's funny, we were talking about the kids before, because, like, you know, when you sort of, you know, it's the constant thing of saying you mix with your ears. don't put your headphones over your hat. That's a fashion choice.
Yeah. You don't even listen to any music.
I could be, for all you know.
Oh yeah.
Now, you've done both. You've worked in venues. You've done the touring side. Now, obviously, the touring side's got its problems in that you're away from home quite a bit. I know we had a chat a couple of days ago, and you said you're actually enjoying being at home with the kids.
Bliss. And the missus.
And the missus, yeah.
You know, I love it. It's not so much, it's having nothing to do and nowhere to go. It's like, it's gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah.
Because we are so busy, you know, we have a lot of downtime, but when we're busy, we're busy. This has been, I've kind of used it as a kind of positive. I think it's lovely. I've banned the school. The kids are upstairs at the minute. I'm sitting on the table. We've got all our home school and stuff, set out pens and books everywhere. But I've banished them upstairs while we're talking. But I think it's been great. It's been great. No, maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe that'll change. But for now, it's fantastic.
No, I think it's been one of the bonuses of if you can take any bonuses out of this current situation. But you know, the kind of enforced time with your family is I think has been really important.
Yeah.
But so you don't miss working in a venue at all, then?
No, not at all. No, like so. The Phil was that. I was full time in the Philharmonic, and obviously I still work in some venues around town. If I'm not touring, I've still got little jobs and venues that I look after, and I put technicians in, which is great. But no, being stuck in one place, I think back, even though I loved the Phil and I loved the people I worked with and I loved the venue, and towards the end it was like, this is killing me. This being in the same place every day is just. It drags life out of you, and you know I've got no wanderlust at all. I'm not a big thing. Like I'm not all about I need to travel the world. I'm just lucky that this job enables us to travel the country and travel the world. It's a kind of nice byproduct because I wouldn't have done it myself. I need to be forced to go on holiday, like half the time. So no, yeah, definitely. I like this side of I much prefer this than being venue based.
You work with a lot of Liverpool legends. Liverpool has had a checkered history, maybe is the best way of putting it, over the last sort of 20 years. We seem to get one that'll turn up and it does amazingly well, and then it'll disappear. There's a lot of redevelopment going on. We've got problems with 24 Kitchen Street at the minute, because of developments. Casimir, I know they've gone into do Invisible Wind Factory, but I think the city did lose something out of the energy that was there. So what do you, have you got an opinion about what's going to happen in the future with all this stuff? It's great seeing Linton as well doing his thing at the North Shore Troubadour, but is there something you'd like to see maybe even the council do that would help us all out?
No, because it would never, the council, I'm not having a go at the council, but it can't be driven from the council or anything like that. The biggest influence I think over the last maybe 10 years is the Casimir guys. Like the Casimir was the best venue in town. It just was. Maybe the only place that came closest, like somewhere like the Epstein, who've got lovely venue, great system and all that. It's all there. That was a joy. But the only other place that's a joy, or used to be a joy to mix in, was the Casimir. And so obviously that got knocked down as part of all this redevelopment in Liverpool. There's nothing they can do. And then that creative team from the Casimir moved to the Wind Factory, who are doing a brilliant job there. I've done a few gigs in there recently with some up-and-coming Liverpool bands, and it's not a perfect venue. They've done the best they can with it. It looks amazing, looks fantastic, but it's a warehouse. There's nothing you can do to change that. It's a warehouse.
It doesn't have the homemade kind of feel that the Casimir had. I mean, I say homemade. It was all homemade. It was. That was a custom-built PA system. But it makes it sound terrible. I mean, I remember when half the PA wasn't painted, and I remember Sam saying people had come in and they just go, I don't want to use it, and hadn't even heard it yet. No. But it was absolutely fine. It had
it was
proper amps on it.
Fine.
It sounded great.
You could push that system, and it was lovely sounding. And like you say, Kitchen Street, I remember that I did the first gig in Kitchen Street. We supplied the PA, and we did the first gig, and I remember turning up at 12 o'clock to load the system in. And there wasn't a floor. Literally wasn't a floor. And we were like, oh, so Johan, the owner, he was like, lads, can you come back in 2 hours? I was like, oh, okay, mate, yeah, I'll come back in 2 hours. And I was thinking, this gig isn't going on. There's not a chance this gig's happening. And we came back in 2 hours and there was a fucking floor. I couldn't believe it. They built a floor out of brick. And so I've been involved with Kitchen Street since day one. And they do brilliant things as well.
Yeah.
It's on a smaller scale, but the club nights and the gigs, it's great.
Everyone knows we've got an SQ in there, and
yes, that's right.
Zone 96 for DJ stuff, but they've got the most ridiculous L-Acoustics PA system in there now.
Oh, amazing! It used to be something else. It used to have a turbo sound. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, yeah, sound. Because it was DJ rider friendly. And then last time I went in, it was full-on L-Acoustics, aux system. I was like, oh. And I remember smashing it.
I bet you did. It's the size of your front room, isn't it? And
I was praising them. I couldn't believe them. I was hugging Johan going, this is brilliant. This is amazing. So stuff like that. So the thing about the Liverpool music scene and the venues, okay, it's hard at the minute, and it's getting harder now. But there'll always be things that pop up. So like the Casimir, the floor of the Casimir, something pop up, like Phase 1 popped up next to it. The same owner as the Jacaranda. There'll always be things that pop up, and it'll encourage new venues to happen. Okay, some of them won't be as good, some of them will be better, but you can't stay the same forever, and things will always change, and you've got to be willing to adapt. And people can bemoan it, but it's not. What's the point? It's not going to change anything. So we crack on and we do the best with what we've got. Like the music scene, regards to the music scene, I always hear this, there's nothing happening in the music scene. There is. There's 1,000 bands out there. There's 1,000 great bands out there. No, there's a few great bands out there that it used to be shoved down your throat. If a good band would come along, someone would get them, put them on the radio, and it'd be shoved down your throat. That doesn't happen anymore. So you have to go out and be a part of this gigging scene and go and look for it. There's a lot. So the band that comes to mind is Red Drum Club. Like they 3 years ago, I first worked with them in the Magnet in town. They just turned up and you were doing a kind of charity gig. And even then, they were like rough around the edges. So from like 3 years, I saw them go from playing to 8 people in the Magnet to selling out the O2, 1,500 cap in December, and could have done more. And they'll do more again. They're supposed to be supporting Circwaves at the minute. Another band called Rats, who I worked with a few weeks ago, who've come out of nowhere. Seemingly come out of nowhere. A lot of hard work's gone into it. We did the Wind Factory. That's like 1,500 cap, sold it out. There's bands about, and there are good bands about. You just have to go and find them. And there's bands cater for all tastes. Clean Cut Kids are one of my favourite bands in the minute, and like you can class them as more mainstream now. But what a band they are! Yeah,
I was quite happy when Chris took out a D Live on that as well. So shout out to Chris.
Yeah, Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
And like just great songwriting, great pop. Yeah. I think they wouldn't mind me saying they're Clean Cut Kids, great pop music. Yeah, so I never buy into that whole the music scene's on its ass. It's not. You just need to get out more. It's a different. It's constantly evolving, and you need to find a new way of, like we've done with live music, in the music industry as a whole. There's no money in recording music anymore. So what does everyone do? Everyone gets out and plays. That's why it's so devastating at the minute with all this, because people don't make money from recording music. All the money's in the live game. So while it's like this with the COVID thing, that's why it is extra. Like kind of soul destroying, but we'll get back to it. We'll have a mad summer. It'll like you'll be playing 2 festivals a week.
No, well, I think that's exactly it. Hopefully, when we do get back to it, especially the smaller bands, I think it's just going to be hopefully a nice big bang and let's go. We'll leave it on a positive note. Thank you very much for your time.
That on the chat.
Yeah.
That other chat you're wearing, that's not a positive note.
What's wrong with the orange hat?
It goes quite well with my green jumper. I like it. We don't clash at all. We compliment each other, mate, as we should.
It's so hunters can't see me in the woods. No, but on that positive note, thank you very much. Yeah. Like I said, we just want people to have a little bit of especially for the young engineers that are starting out and finding out what it's all about, and and I thought it'd be a good place to start with you because you're always brimming with enthusiasm, and I think it's true to say that people just want to work with people that are kind of happy in their job and doing a great job and enthusiastic about it. So thank you very much.
That's a pleasure, mate. On that side, just when you mentioned like young engineers and young techs, like one of the first things I always teach them is like just have fun and never worry too much. Like you're not performing open heart surgery. Like no one's gonna die tonight on the gig you're on, so never worry and have fun. And like, how could you not? We were dead lucky to work in this industry. It's the best thing. So enjoy it. Have a good laugh.
Okay. All right, brilliant. Well, that's cool.
Cut.